Who is the toughest guy in the world? I mean, who is the baddest dude in the world? I want to see this.
In what weight? You're saying in weight classes?
In weight class. I mean, that's what's fascinating. I think that ultimately will win the game, will win the day. You know, you just have to give people the ability to show their best foot forward.
I also don't think it's all completely up to the fighter to have to raise their star quality value. I think it's up to the UFC to promote them and tell their story.
Correct.
Because they're like, let me just focus on training and winning every fight possible. You guys deal with. You guys are basically my agents and managers. You guys get me in the right position to become a star.
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep winning.
Right.
You line up the very best guys in the world. Let me win. Then you make me the star.
That's right. Instead of having guys where it's not really their thing, now they got to talk trash. They got to create a whole fiasco around it. So media, which I understand is a business, but media becomes really important. And for the guys that just are not that way, they're just not, it's not their thing. They're just pure fighters, pure athletes. Now there's all this pressure for them to kind of like step outside and kind of like create hype. Not everybody's just Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's got a golden
It's going to get worse too with WME. You know, you're going to see guys on Conan, and you're going to see guys in movies and on more TV. You know.
Yeah, that's where I think it
diminishes the product.
Yes, I agree. I think that whole thing is compromising the sport for those reasons, and it's a fucking bummer, man. It's a bummer for people who are real fans of the sport, and I find it insulting to guys like Jacare and Yoel Romero and all these guys. And for that matter, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Well, he's fighting for a title.
Yeah, he's fighting for a title, but still. It's tough.
You're just looking at maybe Bader next, and then would you be open to like a Chael, even though Chael Sonnen just lost? Are you down for those gangster weight fights?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For the right guys, yeah, absolutely. You know what? I feel like I train with heavyweights, and I do well with heavyweights. When you start talking about like the top heavyweights in the world, I'm like, I don't want to fight them.
But but in Bellator, like, if you fought Fedor, I'd take you over Fedor. If you fought Mitrione, I'd take you over Mitrione. If Chuck Congo, give me Phil Davis. Like if I go through the current list of heavyweights in Bellator, I got you favored in all those fights.
Yeah. Well, it was
Chael Sonnen. I mean, he walks around. You know, he's about 230.
Chael's not the same Chael. When was the last time you saw him?
4 weeks ago, he was in here.
Oh, before his fight or after?
Before.
Well, he was already small for his fight, but
yeah,
I saw him probably a month before that. Dude, he was looking small. I've only seen Chael smaller than me a couple times in my life. We fought together in L.A. back in the day. He fought Anderson that night.
Oh, okay.
He fought Anderson. I was like, okay.
Who'd you fight that night?
I fought Rodney Wallace.
Oh, gotcha.
Rodney Wallace, yeah. That was my third fight in, and I took it on 8 or 9 days.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Rodney Wallace. Okay, anyways, give me fight. No, but you're referring to Chael back in the TRT exemption Chael.
Yeah. He's nowhere near that size anymore.
No.
It's crazy.
He's definitely smaller.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
He used to be your size. He's like an Anthony Johnson guy.
We used to train together.
Yeah.
And I thought he was big to me. And he was like, one of the best things about you is you don't realize your size. I'm like, bitch, we're the same size. Like, what are you talking about? You keep saying how, like, I'm getting positions on you because I'm bigger. We're the same size. Matter of fact, you might be bigger. Like, what are you talking about? Were you surprised with the outcome of Tito and Chael?
Completely blown away. I had money on him.
You had money on Chael?
Yeah, I had money on Chael. It was funny. I was the day before I went to watch Penn State versus Iowa in Iowa wrestling match. So me and my boys met up and we went to the match. It was awesome. Then afterwards, we all stuck around and watched the Bellator fights. And they were like, "Who you got, Phil?" I was like, "All right, I got Chael." And they all picked Tito.
Really? Are they fans of the sport, or did they just know Tito because he's so famous? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They just kind of know Tito from TV. So I was like, thank you guys. And so I bet 3 people. They all wanted action. I said, okay.
They wanted action. Those are good bets though for you.
So I said, all right, cool. I'll take that bet.
Dude.
And I'm usually pretty good at MMA bets.
I have friends who they bet a lot of money on MMA and they go, Tito Chael. And I went, honestly, man, I think, Tito, it's his last fight. You might 1 foot out the door. Chael wants this. He's fought, more I just feel like Chael should have won the fight.
I couldn't be more proud of for Tito.
Me too.
Though.
He's one of my favorites, man.
I couldn't be more proud.
Smooth, handsome, and I laid down
Olive
and he
skin.
said, and before he did it,
Smelled
handles. No, he has a full mouth. I fucked him, but this is after.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. That's later. I wasn't even gonna tell that story,
Yeah.
but I fucked him.
Yeah,
but
you punished that little freak.
punished.
No,
I was
I
getting
know.
to the
I
story
love
about
that.
Rich Incognito, which he'll like. Do you remember Rich Incognito?
I've heard the stories.
I know Richie. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you remember
The offensive guard or tackle
Yes,
that lost
but
his mind.
But-
Center played for.
sorry, center.
He was
played
the
for
guy-
Buffalo. Was all pro this year.
Do you remember when you went, oh my God, when that guy was coming up to him? See, that was the blonde football player. That happened to have been Rich Incognito. I don't know if you know that. They came up and talked to us when he picked that guy up over his head and threw him on his back. Do you not remember this?
No.
Did Brian fantasize
It's so
to make
funny.
this up, Jeremy?
Do you remember you went, oh my God.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That was Richie Incognito.
Oh, my God,
The guy
okay.
kept
Aggressive
coming up to
dude.
Richie.
No, I
the
remember
guy
you told
had
me
a
the story.
tank top and tight jeans
Oh,
on.
my God.
And he kept
That's
coming up
right.
to Richie. And I was going, looking over, going, that
Richie's
Richie
an
Incognito,
animal.
he's a blonde silverback. He's a blonde silverback gorilla.
To the fullest.
Dude, he
Hell of a football player.
Hell of a football player. I asked him. He squats 800 pounds. I asked him, and I couldn't believe how thick he was, and a handsome guy with a very
Oh,
white
my
face.
God.
The
you
spectrum,
fucking-
it's like
Right.
literally Richie Incognito, and then fast forward to human evolution, and then Elon Musk.
Crazy.
It's like that.
Crazy.
It's like
and
here.
he picked this guy up like over his head and just threw
assault,
him on his
brother.
back.
Right.
Well, the guy kept coming up to him and like challenging him.
Yeah.
And I remember when you went, oh my God. And then
Yeah.
you said to him, you go, brother, what was that about? You hoisted him up and threw him down. And he goes, he was just getting a little mouthy and kind of in my face and touching. And I kept asking him to get away.
No,
I just had to teach
Richie's-
him a little lesson.
Yeah.
Monster.
Because it literally looked like it would have been a fake wrestling move if he hadn't have slammed him into the earth. By the way, the creepiest thing is imagine
You gotta
Brian
probably get
coming up
fucked
to
up.
this guy going, hey, my man, what do you squat out of curiosity?
You're lucky you
just
didn't get-
staring
I didn't know he
at
played
him.
football.
If you don't kiss the ring with MJ, because that's all he gets, he will go back and forth with you, and he's just funny and cool and all those things. But he's the only guy, listen, this was back in the day when he was winning championships and killing it. You can't get 2
This
minutes
in the
with
90s.
guy. Yeah. So with him, I got a press pass and I went backstage with a cameraman and I got sitting with all the press at his locker and he's just naked standing there and we're all just, people, it was like a wave. It was just like, is it easier now that Rodman's here in terms of him taking some of the heat? What do you think it is? Does it matter to have 72, 73 wins? And then I said, and I'm waiting for the wave, and I go, have you let the healing begin since you were snubbed at the Oscars for Space Jam?
That's hilarious.
Silence.
Everyone's
And he-
like, God damn it.
And he's kind of just, I'm looking at a 6'6" naked Jordan. He just looks at me and goes, oh, I know this dude. Oh, you're a clown, man. This dude's a clown. I get it. What's up, man?